14, and chances are you're familiar with the saying, "It ain't over till it's over," right? Credited to Yogi Berra. Now there's a new film premiering this weekend at the Tribeca Film Festival all about Yogi, and appropriately enough, it's called "It Ain't Over."
Yeah, and so here to tell us about it are Yogi's granddaughter, Lindsay Berra, executive producer of the film, and the director, Sean Mullin. So thanks to both of you for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Sean, let's start with you. I mean, obviously, Yogi Berra is an American cultural icon beyond his Hall of Fame baseball activities. So what exactly was it? Was it that drew you to this project?
There were definitely a handful of things, but, you know, it's really strange, especially this day and age, to find somebody who just always did the right thing, you know, throughout his life, you know, from childhood all the way to the end. And that was extremely compelling to me to be able to tell a story about somebody who had such an impact by really just living a life full of integrity and obviously good humor.
Yeah, you know, Lindsay, give us a sense, I guess, of really who we know him, you know, obviously the star that he was, right? But what was your grandfather like off the field as a family man?
I always say that what you saw with Grandpa was very much what you got. So whatever you guys saw on television, on the baseball field, he was very much like that at home. Like Sean says, he was very known for having this very forthright moral compass. He always did the right thing. And it was a pretty high bar for the rest of us. If you had a problem and you went to Grandpa, he would just right away point out what you were supposed to do. And you'd be like, oh, snap, he is totally right.
Right.
That is not the easy choice. It's the right one, but it's the hard one. So, and people always ask about the Yogiisms. Yes, he really did talk like that.
The Yogiisms.
Yeah, speaking of those Yogiisms, were you ever around him when he came up with one of those classic lines?
Yes, many times. It really was just the way he spoke and the way he saw the world. He was just very able to cut through all the gray areas and call it like he saw it. And when you think about the Yogisms, a lot of them, most of them anyway, make really good sense.
Yeah, nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
I don't like to wait on lines, do you?
What? No, I mean, it's so true. I'm like, it's so true. Nobody goes there. It's too crowded. So you know, Sean, you're a West Point graduate, and that's important here because Yogi was in the Navy. He was wounded in the hand in the D-Day invasion. So did you find anything else out while you're doing this documentary about how his military service really affected him as a person?
Absolutely. No, he had an extremely, you know, experience during the invasion of Normandy during D-Day, and you know we get into the film a little bit, and he never really talked about it that much, but I think it really grounded him in a way, and a lot of guys from that entire generation really who went on to play baseball and to understand that baseball really it isn't the hardest thing you're gonna have to do in your life. So no, it was a real honor to be able to do a profile on someone who had served on on such a historic military event, but then also went on to be such an incredible ball player. So I think it really centered him in a way, and not that he needed centering, but it just it really grounded him in a wonderful way.
Yeah, clearly the discipline of that carried over to baseball. But what do you think was Yogi's proudest moment in his baseball career?
Oh my goodness. I mean,
too many to mention, I suppose.
Lindsay, his proudest moment? What would you say, Linz?
He didn't talk a lot about his individual moments. It was very difficult to get him to talk about stuff that he personally had done on the field. The way he recalled his baseball career was kind of about good times he had had with his friends. He was always more willing to tell you about the home run that Mickey hit, or something that Moose Gowan or Hank Bauer had done, or talk about Don Larson's perfect game. It was always about, I think as a catcher, you're kind of like the on-field marshal, and your job is to make everyone better. And Grandpa was really good at that, and he was proud of it, and he was always really proud of his teammates. I will say that of all the World Series he won, the one ring that he wore was the 1953 ring, because the Yankees had won 5 World Series in a row. He said, ain't nobody done it before, ain't nobody done it since. And so he was proud of that accomplishment, and he was certainly proud of Donnie's perfect game.
Yeah, but one of the classic plays, not to get too technical in your grandfather's career, was the time Jackie Robinson stole home on him. It was the 1955 World Series, right? And Yogi erupted, always maintained that Jackie was out, right? So what was the behind-the-scenes conversations? Did you ever hear him talk about this, Lindsay? What's going on
it wasn't a conversation. There was one word: out.
Out.
I tell people this story very often. When they first approved instant replay for use in games, I was explaining this to Grandpa, and he kind of had a little bit of dementia at the time and had been really not with it at the, when I first arrived to see him. We put on the Michael Kay show. Michael was talking about this. He says, "What does that mean?" I explained that he would have been able to point to the sky and the umpires would see the replay and be able to change the play on the field. And he goes, "So you mean Jackie would have been out?" So he was very in tune with that for his entire life. But again, we always say Grandpa was a great friend of Jackie Robinson's. The Robinson family is still friends with our family. I always say the important part was that Jackie was in, safe or out, doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, it must be pretty amazing to say that he's your grandpa. I mean, that's awesome. Is there anything about him that you think nobody ever knew about besides his family? Anything you think that we would love to know?
No, I mean, I just always say, like, he was such a good human being. As great as he was as a ball player, he was a better human. And I was incredibly lucky to have both him and my Grammy Carmen until my late 30s. A lot of kids don't get to have their grandparents for that length of time. And I got to know them really as people and have an adult relationship with each of them that went far beyond, seeing your grandparents on the holidays and getting birthday presents.
So
I learned so much from them, and it was just a real gift to be able to have them in my life for that long.
Oh, what a blessing.
I hear you. I hear you on that. Amen to that. All right, director Sean Mullin and executive producer Lindsay Berra, Yogi's granddaughter, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It Ain't Over premieres this weekend, everybody, at the
It ain't.
Good luck with the film.
Love it.